Hi everybody and welcome back. In October I participated in Appoctober, creating 31 brand new spooky Fakemon, and I feel like it's time to do that again with MERMAY or PokeMay. I thought creating 31 Fakemon that are all connected to the ocean would be hard, but to be honest I'm pretty happy how everything turned out. None of them are named besides one, so let me see your name suggestions in the comments if you feel like it. I used the prompt list by OK Cafe and K-Spin Art this time because the official MERMAY one just didn't resonate with me. Let's go with Day 1 Golden. This Fakemon is the first in a line of 3. When hearing the prompts Golden, my first thought was... and my second thoughts were coins. So I made a little coin fish. The main body is inspired by these Chinese coins with the square hole in the middle. And the eye pattern is supposed to look like the euro symbol, but like very, very stylized. Day 2 Lure. In the context of the ocean, lure obviously invites the idea of an anglerfish, however we already have one and I like it. A second thought was a Fakemon pretending to be a fruit or berry. There are tons of berries you can choose from. I forgot to look up the name, but I chose this red prickly berry. And I know it's MERMAY, but I didn't want to only make fish Fakemon, so I made a list of other water-related animals. And for this Fakemon, I used the Axolotl as an inspiration. And I came up with this brown, spiky little guy. Day 3 Hidden. Originally, I wasn't sure what to draw until I remembered the decorator crab, a crab that uses material it finds to decorate its back and camouflage itself. This little Fakemon uses materials of sunken boats to disguise itself, however it's not that successful as you can see. I wanted a goofy and low-key silly design, so I came up with this. It's also loosely inspired by this one Patrick meme from SpongeBob, but it's gonna get an evolution and maybe that's gonna fix things. Full pun intended. Day 4 Urchin. Well, we already have an Urchin Pokemon, Urchin, so why not give it a Mega Evolution? However, we are gonna channel our inner Mega Starmie and turn this into another Patrick meme. Yes, it's just gonna get some long legs and an extra row of patterns because I was feeling a little extra fancy. Is this one gonna be available in the Jermanzburg region? I don't think so. Day 5 Dangerous. What is the most dangerous thing that can come to someone's mind? An arrow, obviously. I thought the shape of an arrow could lend itself well to a fish Fakemon, and I was sort of right, even though I did have to shorten the stem of the arrow quite a bit to give it a Pokemon-like proportions. Can't tell if there are 3 tail fins or 2 + 1 back fin. I'm not sure if this Fakemon is like actually livable, but I imagine it's spinning around to move, even though that's also, I mean arrows do kind of spin, so yeah. The arrowhead is both inspired by metal arrowheads, probably the first ones that come to mind, but also the ones made from silex. I can't remember if I ever found one on an archaeological survey myself, but I'm pretty sure some of my friends did, but that's also not the point. But I still wanted to incorporate silex arrowheads. And that's the reason why there are these circular patterns on the side of the head. Those are retouches. I don't know how to pronounce it in English properly. Day 6 Spear. Well, it's a fusion of a swordfish and a spear, kinda. I thought of swordfish and narwhals and how they have these spear-like spikes or horns on the head. I don't know the scientific term for that. Anyways, I swapped that with a literal wooden spear with a metal arrowhead. Not arrowhead, spearhead. Originally, I wanted to use the Schöninger Speere, however, in a design I figured they would just read as wooden sticks and not really as spears. So I went with a normal metal spear and decided to make the design also inspired by typical depictions of Roman soldiers, and yes, it is the evolution of our arrowfish from day 5. In the history of the Jermanzburg region, there is a fantasy equivalent of the romance, so I thought this would fit right in. Day 7, Guppy. This again is the first stage of a 3-staged line, and the other 2 are Goldfish and Angelfish because all 3 are pet fish. I wanted a connecting theme, and after some brainstorming I landed on undead creatures, cause why not, they are cool. That's literally the only reason. There are rare finds of mummified fish, so I figure it's perfect for the first stage, a little mummy guppy. And honestly, it's one of my favorite designs from this video, if not my favorite. I'm also working on another mummy Fakemon for the Jermanzburg region. Hopefully I can show it off soon. Don't know if it beats this design, but we'll find out. Day 8, Fisheye. In case you were wondering, yes, I did interpret this prompt in the most literal way and not in what fisheye actually means. Fisheye actually describes a certain perspective. However, I just drew a fish with a big eye. It's actually a redesign of a Fakemon I drew in 2016 or 2015 back in school. There was this meme instruction going around for making Pokemon, which was just make a random scribble and draw what you see. And I tried it and ended up with this fish line, which became part of my very first region based on Peru. I always adored the first stage, so I wanted to make a proper redesign, and I think it turned out to be pretty cute. I don't know, something about it is just very adorable. And this one actually got a name. I named it Cyclops, a fusion of Cyclops with a P and Blob, because it's a little grumpy Cyclops fish blob thingy. Day 9, Gills, and the evolution for the little berry axolotl. Designing this Fakemon was actually a little difficult because I intended a different prompt to be the mega evolution of this line, so this drawing was supposed to be the final stage, and I also drew the mega first. But then this design never felt right, not enough like a final stage, too close or not close enough to the mega evolution, so I just made something I thought would look cool and reads as a good design. It is again inspired by multiple berries, and I think I managed to give it a pretty interesting body shape overall. It's also a middle stage now. Yeah. Day 10, Anemone. Anemone? Anemone. Yeah. Story time. I participated in a Fakemon contest where you could get your Fakemon put into a fan game, and I made a line, but mine didn't make it. Video hopefully coming out soon, but the Fakemon was based on corals, anemones, and clownfish, which was problematic for this challenge right here because both anemone and clownfish are both prompts, and for the life of me I couldn't find anything creative to draw for anemone, so I just ended up with this. Yeah. Next. Day 11, Flows. You may be wondering what the hell this is, and don't you worry, it will get less recognizable. To understand this design, you do need to know that this is the final stage of a different Fakemon that will come up in exactly 2 prompts, but basically I thought what floats through the water and landed on shrimps. And there's a shrimp called Ghost Shrimp, another undead creature. Oh, no, ghosts are dead, but yeah, death themed. This Fakemon is however not based on ghosts, but the Grim Reaper. Because, it's not spooky season, but we can make spooky season every month of the year, and I'm all for it. And with a lot of fantasy, you can see a shrimp in there. If not, that's fine too. I also don't see it, but it was intended to be there. Day 12, Teeth. Well, what can I say? I made a big fish with giant teeth. It is the evolution of our Fisheye Cyclops. Cyclops, yeah. In my original design there were 3 stages, but the evos were all just base stage but a little bigger, and I didn't want to completely change that, but I figured we don't need it 2 times. Like, evolving it 1 time is completely fine. So it's just a 2-stage line. I thought it's funny if this grumpy little fish will turn into a larger but goofy looking fish Fakemon. It is also a lot more friendly, like a little bit like a gentle giant, but also a little stupid. But like, it has a warm heart, big heart. That's the phrase. Day 13, Lobster. You can probably tell what the inspiration here was. Yes, it is the pre-evolution of our Grim Reaper shrimp. I once again used this drawing challenge to make multiple lines with vastly different designs for each stage, and here I combined a lobster with a sheet ghost, and while I don't dislike its evolution, I kinda prefer this one. It's cute in my opinion, and I like ghosts, and yeah, it's adorable, I think. Day 14, Scallops. Well, another camouflage Fakemon. Haven't had enough of those. When googling scallops, I found out that the first images that come up are in fact not like the animal, but them as a dish, which is a little messed up. Anyways, not a lot of concept here, just an octopus-like creature with a scallop shell on top. It buries itself in sand and attacks Fakemon swimming by the harmless looking shell. It can also use it like as a shield or as a like frisbee, like throwing it around at enemies or not enemies. Day 15, Sky Blue. I can't make the one ocean Fakemon without a snail, so here we have it. Originally I paired up Sky Blue and Purple, but when searching for animals to use as an inspiration for these prompts, I came across one of my favorite animals, sea slugs. Aren't they cute? They're absolutely adorable in my opinion, and they often have these weird flowy body attachments, or like antennas and stuff like that, and that gave me the idea of a snail shaped like a cloud. And like the base body is sky blue and the rest is just a puffy, cloudish white. Probably looks really cute when they walk around on the ocean floor. Day 16, Stars. The most obvious inspiration would be a sea star. However, there are also this, I believe, little octopus that also look like little stars, but only that would be a little boring. Fortunately, I have my manga collection next to my desk, and well, Naruto is one of my favorites, and for those who don't know Naruto, it's about ninjas, and they have these so-called shuriken, and in German they are called Wurfstern, and the literal translation is throwing star. So yeah, I made a little shuriken octopus with references to Kakashi's headband and the Sharingan. Day 17, Beach. I think it's time for a non-aquatic animal, and it's like, I don't know what it is. It's something rodent-like, no specific inspiration. Little bit of rabbit, I guess, maybe pig, capybara. I don't know, it's whatever you want it to be. It's supposed to look like a sand dune come to life with a little bit of vegetation on its back for hiding purposes again. Day 18, Angelfish. To be completely honest, when I first read this, I thought it said anglerfish, and I was a little disappointed, but then I read it again and I got a lot more excited. It's the final stage of the undead fish line. You're gonna meet the middle stage soon, however. I had different undead creatures on the list. Vampires already have a mon based on that. Ghouls already have a mon based on that. And then I found the Jiangshi, a Chinese mythological creature that was a lot more interesting to turn into a Fakemon. Not sure if it reads as a final stage Fakemon, but I kinda like it. Maybe in the future I can make a Mega Evolution based on a fourth undead creature. I don't have a lot of stuff on my list, but I can look up more, I guess. Day 19, Gemstone. That's gonna be the evolution to our golden coin Fakemon. So I did have a relatively clear picture in mind for the shape of the body, but the colors were a nightmare. But let's not go ahead of ourselves. It's inspired by Gammon, and the internet tells me the English term for that is gem, cameo, or intaglio. I'm just gonna show a picture here because I don't know if anyone knows what these other terms are. I also threw in a little bit of a seal ring. I also don't know if that's the right term, but like these, like you put wax somewhere and then you have a ring and you can make like a stamp. Yeah. The eye pattern is inspired by the pound symbol, like British pounds, and I actually think it kind of looks fancy. I think it's my favorite eye from this line. And color-wise, in the end I settled for green, mainly because it looked nice, and every other color I tried out looked just horrible. Like, not even trying to like talk down on it, it wasn't nice. Anyways, day 20, purple. This was either the last or second to last prompt I drew, mainly because my paper sketches don't have colors besides maybe blue or the paper color, and purple was such a random prompt for Mermay. But I already designed a Fakemon for a future prompt which needed an evolution, so I decided I'm just gonna go with a purple poisonous sea turtle. It's a little moody, so maybe don't bother it. Yeah, it's not a spectacular design, but I think it's pretty... Is it cute? I don't know. It's a design. It's a design for sure. Day 21, Wreckage. Wreckage is a really cool prompt, but I did find myself in a tricky situation because I already designed a Fakemon based on shipwrecks and whales a few years ago. I contemplated whether I should just redesign it, but that's boring, or to give it a mega evolution, but that was a little bit difficult. Fortunately, I had the little hidden crab Fakemon from earlier lying around and decided it needs an evolution. It now has a massive hammer as a weapon. I think I was watching the Killer Paradox at the time, so that kinda makes sense if you've seen the series. And a broken steering wheel as a shield. Oh, and of course a cannon for good measure, because why not? Why not? Day 20, Clownfish. So here we have prompt number 2 that got sabotaged by my contest entry. While thinking about clowns, I remembered their black and white cousins, mimes. Honestly, I have no idea if the origins of mimes and clowns are even remotely connected, but they both paint their faces, so that was kinda close enough for me. Also, they entertain people. That's also a factor. So yeah, I combined a lionfish with a mime and I got this. Very black and white, very fish. Yeah. Day 23, Reef. There was a lot of stuff that could have been done, and I went with a little turtle. It's the pre-evolution of our poison sea turtle from earlier. You probably already guessed that. And the original inspiration for this line were underwater volcanoes and lava lamps. I'm not completely sure how the shell of this Fakemon works. Like, is it transparent and we're able to see what's going on inside? But I feel like that would be pretty cool, but also a little weird. But is this something we have to like discuss right now? Is it something we have to wrap our heads around? Probably not. Probably not. Day 24, Goldfish. And that's the first evolution for the Mummy Guppy, the middle stage. With this line, I tried to force myself to make a line that is not visually connected, but by concept, as you probably already saw. Usually, I don't like these types of evolutions, but some people do, so I want to try it out myself. The first stage is a mummy. The third stage is a Jiangxi, and the middle stage is a good old zombie. I was inspired by the manga Shibuya Goldfish, which is basically a zombie apocalypse story, but with a giant carnivorous goldfish. And yes, it is as weird as it sounds like. And since there are a lot of different mutated goldfish out there in the real world, I chose one with those weird bellies and tumor-like attachments on its head. It's not my favorite Fakemon overall, but I do like the line a lot, so yeah. Day 25, Reflection. Probably not what you guessed it would be, right? Reflection can mean different things, with a mirror reflection coming to mind first, but we already have a mirror Fakemon in the Jermanzburg region. Reflection can also mean something along the lines of like reflecting on your own behavior, thinking about it and the consequences it has, stuff like that. I still had sea snakes on my list of animals I wanted to return to Fakemon, so here we have a little regional Akans resting its head on its tail, which is inspired by the statue of the Denker. I don't know if it's actually called the Thinker in English, but I'm gonna show a picture here. And its color scheme is reflecting the ones of Serpentrak, because, you know, reflection is the prompt. Yeah, okay, it's very low, but yeah, also there's not gonna be an evolution. Maybe we have to make one in the future. Day 26, Moonlight. We already had stars, so Moonlight is next. I did want to reference another ninja weapon from Naruto, Asuma's knives, in the tentacles. The overall body is loosely shaped like Gaara's sand bag thingy. I think it's a pumpkin. No, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched it or read the manga. It has a moon on its head, and if it puts its front tentacles together, there are Sharingan patterns that give its opponents hallucinations, which is a reference to Madara and the Tsukuyomi style. Or Tsukuyomi Jutsu. I don't know. Again, it's been a while. Day 27, Axolotl. With that prompt, you probably already guessed that this is indeed part of the Berry Axolotl line. Originally, it was supposed to be a mega evolution, but while I didn't dislike my design, after the initial struggle, it was just not giving mega. It also took forever to get a head shape that didn't look terrible. In the end, I again referenced a few different berries, and while the first stage is a baby, the middle stage is a teen, and this final stage is like more on the elderly side, all grown up by now, but it's still a little weird as if it hasn't fully grown into its body despite the size. And yeah, it's more giving final stage and not mega evolution, so it's just a regular 3-stage line. Day 28, Whirlpool. I mean, what else did you expect besides a swirly water Fakemon? I wanted the design to be upright and a little anthropomorphic, but not too much, mainly because I'm not that great at drawing those. Every part of the body is supposed to look like it's in a twisting motion. I don't know if the silhouette is the best or if the negative wave on the bottom makes a lot of sense. It probably doesn't, but it was kind of fun for me. Yeah. Overall, not the most glamorous design, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Day 29, Troll. And of course, our Whirlpoolmon gets a cute pre-evolution, mainly based on jellyfish. It's a little alien looking with a contrasting spiral in the middle of its jello-y transparent body. Is it an eye? I don't know. Could be. Will we ever know? Probably not. Yeah. Again, not too spectacular, but I think it's pretty cool. Cute. Maybe both. Day 30, Jewelry. As much as I want to say I created an amazing creative design for the second to last prompt, I think I failed. And it sucks because it's the final stage of the Money Gemstone fish line, and I do actually like the first 2 stages, but here my brain just went meh. Just throw some random jewelry as stuff on a fish and call it a day, and I couldn't even figure out aesthetically pleasing colors. Like, yeah, colors are my weak point, but like that's Like, what is it? Maybe I'm gonna redesign it in the future, because stage 1 and 2 I actually really like, but I'm just not happy with the final stage. I, however, can't say the same about the last prompt, so let's see what day 31 brings us. Day 31, free space. Gonna be honest, when I first read this prompt, I didn't understand that this is a joker and you can choose whatever prompt you want. So I thought to myself, free space, ocean, water, what can I do with that? And then I remembered how Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is one of my favorite video games, and you play on these little islands with lagoons and stuff like that, and a lagoon is kinda basically a free space in an island. Kinda. Not a marine expert, it's probably not, but like that what came to my head. So I made an evolution to the grass mermaid from earlier. It's now more rabbit-like and has water on its back. There's more greenery. It can camouflage very easily with its surroundings due to its color scheme. I gave it a red eye to make it a little menacing, because why not? It has to scare predators away somehow. And with this final prompt, we finished up 31 brand new Fakemon designs. Let's see which one will make it into the Jermanzburg region. Yay! Despite not liking the final stage, the golden gemstone jewelry fish line will make the cut. The berry axolotls, of course, too. Welcome to the Jermanzburg region. Wreckage crab. Okay, all of these things are really hard to pronounce. Jewelry fish, berry axolotl, wreckage crab. What did I do here? Okay, anyways. Of course we can't miss our Roman spearfish, and since this mummy guppy is one of my absolute favorite designs from this challenge, of course I'm gonna put it into the Jermanzburg region too. And how could I say no to my little grumpy Cyclops baby? It's adorable. I don't care what anyone says. I was a little hesitant, but yes, the ghost lobster makes it as well. I love snails, so sky blue we're into. Why not? The beach mammal, sure, why not? I think it's pretty cool, and I think the beach area of the Jermanzburg region is missing Fakemon, so yeah. We already have a turtle Fakemon in Jermanzburg, but the first stage is pretty cool, so yes, I'm gonna keep it. Regional icons, I mean, sure, but we do have to give it an evolution in the future. Also, it wouldn't really make sense since it's reflecting the color scheme of Serpentrek if it's not actually in the region. And lastly, yes, of course, the twirly Whirlpool makes it too. Those were quite a lot of Fakemon that made it. In fact, the only ones that didn't are Mega Pink Urchin, the Anemone Fakemon, Scallops, and the Ninja Weapon Squid. And I'm feeling a little bad for them, because majority they made it and they didn't. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna include them if I find a reason to. I don't really have a reason for not including two, besides I don't wanna in quotation marks waste space in the Pokédex, but it's a fan project, who cares? The more the merrier, I guess. If you have name suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Besides Cyclops, none got names, so feel free to be creative as much as you want. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did, and subscribe to not miss any future videos. See you in the comments.